It's day 6. It's happening. Dude, you're almost a week into this training. Can we take a minute and celebrate your success? Do you know how far ahead of the curve you are? You know how many people buy a course and never even start? Or do day 1 and then fall off the wagon? But not you. You're here. You are showing up for this. You are committing to yourself. So I want to take a moment and acknowledge you and really celebrate your success. So one of my favorite quotes is from my friend Dallas Travers, and she says, "You can't build on top of success you don't acknowledge." I'm going to say that again. You can't build on top of success you don't acknowledge. So really take a moment to acknowledge your success. Acknowledge how far you've come. Because here's the thing, even if we take away the truckloads of scientific evidence that there is around meditation, just you setting an intention for yourself and then showing up for that is powerful. Just you making an appointment with yourself and then keeping it because you respect yourself will change your life. So bravo on showing up and doing this training every day. So today is all about gratitude. We're going to talk about the neuroscience of gratitude and this concept that I call watering the flowers instead of watering the weeds. So today is all about gratitude. And you might be thinking, yeah, I know I should give thanks, or I do give thanks every day before I eat. But there's actually more to it than that. There's a fascinating window into the neuroscience behind gratitude. And did you know that Oprah says that one of the most powerful things she's ever done for herself was starting a daily gratitude journal? So here's a fascinating piece of relatively new neuroscience, and that is, even if you can't find anything to be grateful for, just you asking the question, "What am I grateful for?" is enough to change the chemistry of your brain. Isn't that incredible? That even if you're having a terrible day and your boyfriend broke up with you and your dog peed on the floor and you lost your job and you're trying to practice gratitude but you just can't muster it, just asking the question, "What am I grateful for today?" is literally enough to change the chemistry of your brain. And that's what we're going to play with today, okay? This is powerful stuff, you guys. So the way I like to think about gratitude is that we're retraining our brain. We're starting to train our brain to look for everything that's going right instead of looking for problems to solve. Because most of us are very adept at problem solving, especially recovering control freaks like me. We think that, well, if I can just solve this problem, then everything will be fine. And the reality is there's always more problems to solve, especially if that's what you're always looking for. So think about your brain or your attention like a very powerful water hose, okay? And let's imagine that you're standing in the garden and everything that you look at, the hose waters the thing that you're looking at. So if you're in the garden and you're looking at all the flowers, then you're inadvertently watering those flowers. You're giving them your attention because what we put our attention on grows. Right? Now, if instead we're constantly looking for problems to solve, then we're putting our attention on the problems. We're watering the weeds. And then we end up with more weeds. We end up with more problems to solve. So even a few minutes of gratitude a day is enough to help you water the flowers instead of watering the weeds. So what we're going to do today is I'm going to walk you through a guided visualization, and we're going to go through every area of your life, and I'm going to help prompt you to really start to see all the flowers that you already have happening in your life, in your personal life, your professional life, your physical life, your spiritual life. And then your homework assignment is going to be to write that down. So go ahead, take a moment, get comfy. We can be in our favorite position, just back supported, head free. You can dim the lights if you like, close down the other windows on your computer, and we'll take a moment to settle in. So once you're settled, go ahead and close your eyes. We'll take a few breaths, just settling in. You can inhale for 2 and exhale for 4 if you like that. And we're going to take a little journey through all the different areas of your life. Really taking a moment to celebrate your successes so that we can build on top of them. So let's start with your professional life. Most of us spend the majority of our time and energy at work, so let's start there. So instead of thinking about how much money you want to make or what your next goal is or what your next hire will be, instead, simply think of 3 things that you're most grateful for about your professional life. And it could simply be that, you know what, I have a job right now. And if you don't have a job, it could simply be, you know what, I have the freedom to choose what my next chapter is. There's no right or wrong, but just think of 3 things you're grateful for in your professional life. Really good. And now let's move on to our family life. And that could be the nuclear family that you were born into, or your friend's family, or your church family, whatever you consider your family. Just taking a moment to think of 3 things that you're most grateful for in your family. The fact that you had a family. Maybe you've reunited with someone. Maybe you're thankful for the fact that FaceTime exists or telephones exist so that you can connect with long-distance members of your family. Really good. And then moving on to our physical life. So what 3 things are you most grateful for about your physical body? It could be that you have legs to walk with, or hands to hug with, or eyes to see with. And it might sound simple, but sometimes giving thanks for the simple things is the most powerful. Maybe you've started a new exercise program, or you're really grateful for yoga, but anything you love about the physical realm, just taking a moment to give thanks. Really good. And now moving on to your spiritual life. This is an area that doesn't get quite as much attention these days as it used to. So what are you most grateful for spiritually? Is it the fact that you've started a spiritual quest? Perhaps it's a quiet, calm connection that you have with your own divinity or your higher power. Or maybe it's simply finding meditation. There's no right or wrong. And then finally, the thing that tends to stress most of us out, which is our financial life. So instead of letting this flood your brain with adrenaline and cortisol and getting stressed, I actually want you to ask the question, what am I most grateful for in my financial life? It could be, you know what, I have a place to sleep tonight. Or I had the funds to buy this device that I'm watching this course on. Or I have food to eat. But really stopping to acknowledge everything that's going right and being grateful for the abundance that's already in your life right now. Really good. And now to close, I want to just leave it as dealer's choice. So this doesn't have to fall into a specific category, but anything that brings you joy, anything that you feel grateful for, something that's in the works, or a new friend, or a new crush, or your dog, just anything that brings you joy that you want to give thanks for, just let that flood your brain and body right now. And if you're feeling fancy, it might even bring a little smile to your face. Even if you have to fake it till you make it, just a wee little smile of gratitude. Breathing that into every cell in your body, and then exhaling, letting go. Really good. And in your own time, whenever you're ready, you can start to gently, easily open the eyes. So simple, but so powerful. Retraining your brain to look for everything that's going right instead of looking for problems to solve. So when you notice in life you start to feel a little stressed, just stop, take a moment, and ask yourself the question, am I watering the flowers or am I watering the weeds? What am I putting my attention on, and what do I want to be growing? So your homework assignment for today is to fill out the form below. I actually want you to write down everything that came up for you during that visualization. I want you to write down what you're most grateful for in each of these areas of your life. There's power in actually writing something down. An extra credit homework is you can start keeping a gratitude journal from this point forward. And that's something you could do in the morning and in the evening. You could wake up in the morning and write down 5 things you're most grateful for. And then again before bed, just writing down 5 things that happened during the day that you're thankful for that brought you joy. All right, friends, I'm very thankful for you. I'm very thankful for this opportunity to go on this journey together. And I'll see you tomorrow for what? The Love Bomb. All right, bye, friends.